Welcome to the Mystic Media channel. I'm your host, Rabina Rastaban, aka the Realist Astrologer. And this is one of the free readings that I will be doing this month. And this request comes from Ebony. So let me just read her question. Now, this is going to be a very short reading because her question is very short and to the point. So basically, Ebony wants to know, I was wondering if I will ever come out of internal conflict. Since I left my children's father of 20 years, I have been feeling a lot of guilt. Thank you so much. You are appreciated. So, Ebony, you provided your birthday, January 14, 1979, but you didn't provide your birth time or location of birth. So I'm not going to talk about your houses. I'm just going to talk about what I see just in general in your chart. So, with you being a 14 in terms of birth number, that can make it hard to move on from the past. It can make anytime you initiate major changes in your life, it can be rather traumatic. It can be rather painful. So you may be left picking up the pieces, or you may just feel this sense of like mourning because of the change that you have went through. So that alone can make change very difficult for you. And you're a Capricorn. Capricorn does tend to pine for a past love, does tend to cling to the past, just like how Cancer can. So that's where those two signs are similar. So you just have this thing with you where you just can be stuck in the past, and Capricorn can carry a lot of guilt as well. So that alone. Great, that's my alarm. Okay, I'm back. I had to turn my alarm off and I decided to put my hat on. I don't know, it's just one of them hat days. So, as I was saying, basically, because you're a Capricorn, also you're 14, it's very hard for you to move beyond a situation where it was very comfortable and where basically, you were very settled. Now, another problem is your South Node is in Pisces. And that can cause you to basically merge with a partner to the point where you don't have any sense of self, or where your individualized self no longer exists. So that is what happened with your children's father. You were with him for 20 years. And then now that you're no longer with him, it's like you feel like you don't have that sense of self anymore, but you're kind of interpreting as guilt. Now, another reason why you could be feeling guilty is because of your North Node in Virgo. Basically, this could deal with a man that has basically contributed much to your life, helped you to get your life in order, and basically has completed you in some way. Your sun is conjoined to Mars, and that can deal with when you get with a man, basically you allow that man to dictate your actions. You allow that man to change out your mode of operation, all of that. It's almost like you exist for that man. So when the relationship is over, you will feel this sense of incompleteness, and it could be translated into feelings of guilt again, because you may feel like you're indebted to him because he has helped to straighten your life out, or he has helped to instill more order in your life. He might have provided for you in some type of way, shape, or form, and you become accustomed to living basically more so for him than for yourself. Now, in this lifetime, you do have to be about putting people in categories, and you also have to be about what is real and what is practical, as opposed to what could be or what is ideal. So you got to move away from that whole ideal mindset or idealistic mindset that kept you trapped in that relationship for 20 years. And I say trapped because of your South Node in Pisces. So I would think that early on in the relationship, you saw that there were things that, wasn't right about him, but you stayed in the relationship for whatever reason. Now, again, going back to that South Node in Pisces, I feel that you're suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. Let me repeat that. Stockholm Syndrome. Let me just read what that means. Stockholm Syndrome is a condition that causes hostages to develop a psychological alliance with their captors as a survival strategy during captivity. These feelings resulting from a bond formed between the captor and the captives during intimate time spent together are generally considered irrational in light of the danger or risk endured by the victims. Generally speaking, Stockholm Syndrome consists of strong emotional ties that develop between two persons, where one person intermittently harasses, beats, threatens, abuses, or intimidates the other. Now, your sun is in square to Pluto, so that makes me know that you do attract men that could be rather dark-sided, that could be rather controlling, where they influence you to a large degree where you don't have much control over your life when you're with that person. Also, this sun square Pluto can point to a man or a husband that is abusive. So even when you get into a new relationship, you have to guard against the tendency to just give your life over to your partner, where you no longer have any individual say. You no longer have your individualized self. Now, a big part of the problem dealing with the guilt is that Neptune in your chart is squaring your nodes. It's squaring your south node in Pisces, which reinforces that whole Pisces Stockholm syndrome. And it's squaring your north node in Virgo, which is going to make it hard for you to evolve towards that north node, because that Neptune, again, squaring your north node in Virgo, is keeping you in that Pisces framework, which you're supposed to move away from in this lifetime. So with your north node and your south node being at the 20th degree of Virgo and Pisces respectively, know that you're going to go through periods in your life where you're going to experience an awakening, and you haven't experienced that awakening with respect to your ex yet. So that's why you're still feeling guilty. That's why you're still dealing with this internal conflict. But give it some time. You will experience an awakening, and it might take another man coming into your life. But again, if he comes into your life, you have to be willing to still maintain a large portion of your individuality. You still need to maintain your independence, and you have to put him in a category. You can't just allow him to just encompass your entire life. But with your sun square Pluto, that's exactly what can happen. You're getting with a man, and basically he just takes over your entire life, and you're no longer your own individual. So your life path number breaks down to 5, and it's a 32, which deals with communication, and that breaks down to 5, which basically means that if you get with a guy and he's not being straight up, if he's being vague, if he's sending you mixed signals, then you already know that he's not the one, because that's reinforcing your Pisces south node. So going forward, any new guy that you meet, you're definitely going to have to be very discriminating, and you're going to have to talk to him and get things out in the open from the very beginning. So basically, that's what you're facing, and that explains why you're filled with so much guilt. Again, you're suffering from Stockholm syndrome. Now, I'm not saying that he was this crazy demonic type of person that kept you captive, but it's about the symbolism. So the symbolism being as though that basically you lost yourself when you were with him for so long, and now you can't find yourself, and in the end result is feeling guilty again because he basically completed you. So again, going forward, you can't allow a man to complete you to the point where you no longer recognize who you are at your core level. So let me know what you think. You can send me an email. You already have my email address, but for anybody that would like to submit a question for next month's free readings, you can email me at karma3675@aol.com. You can also leave a question in the comment section, including your birthday, as well as the birth date of someone that you are interested in, or your partner or whatever. But it could just be about yourself. And if you would like an in-depth reading now, you could go to my website at rabina.com. Peace and many blessings.